Welcome, everyone, wherever you are on this beautiful, wondrous, brown, green, blue planet called Mother Earth of ours. Wherever you are, I'm wishing you a wonderful, fantastic, beautiful, and peaceful day, night, or evening. The topic for the day, as you see from the title, the origins of all 32 NFL team names. Of course, if I'm talking about the NFL, this is a team that derives in the United States of America. Now, before we get into the origin of the names, I want to get into a little bit of background history of the NFL. Number one, the NFL was derived from the sport called rugby. Rugby is a European-based sport. I believe it originated from the UK. If I'm wrong, correct me. I didn't do no heavy research on rugby, but I definitely know it's in Europe, and I definitely know a lot of people in the United Kingdom play the sports. Football as itself origin was traced back to a long time ago, 1892, pushing for 200 years. The modern era with the 32 teams, etc. But whenever a sport league first started off, it was no 32 teams back then. It probably was 18, 15. Then it grew and grew and grew to what it is today. But the modern era began in 1932. And the Super Bowl, I forgot which number it was, but the Super Bowl involving the Baltimore Colts and some other team would really set the NFL on the national stage. But back in that time, there were other competing football leagues, such as the American Football League, etc. So the NFL had competition back then. And all sports leagues, when they first start off, they do have a competitor. Eventually, the competitors die away. Then usually it become one big league, and they usually gobble up some of the competitors' teams. So we did our little background research. So now let's dive into the origin of these 32 football teams. So let's start. The Atlanta Falcons. Shortly after insurance executive Rankin Smith bought professional football team, or let me say that again. Shortly after insurance executive Rankin Smith brought professional football to Atlanta, a local radio station sponsored a contest to name the team. 1,300 people combined to suggest more than 500 names. That's a lot of names, including Peaches, which sound weak, Vibrants, weak, Lancers, weak, Confederates, long but weak, Firebirds, that sound okay, and Thrashers, that sound okay. While several fans submitted the nickname Falcons, schoolteacher Julia Elliott of nearby Griffin was declared the winner of the contest for the reason she provided. Here's her reason. The Falcon is proud and dignified with great courage and fight, Elliott wrote. It never drops its prey. It is deadly and has great sporting tradition. Elliott won 4 season tickets for 3 years and a football autograph by the entire 1966 inaugural team. So here we have it. As I stated earlier, there are 32 football teams now, but when it was first born, there was no 32 teams. We see right here, the Atlanta Falcons joined the league in 1966. So, a little over 50 years ago, the Atlanta Falcons joined the NFL, and a school teacher, Judy Elliott, she received 3 years of tickets to the game. And since this is Atlanta, if you know about the United States, Atlanta is a southern city, so typically it's not cold there. I live in the East Coast, where it gets cold from December to March. It's freezing here. In Atlanta, it's a climate area, so it don't matter to going to that place during December, January. It's pretty temperate there. Let's go on to the next team. And here's our icon for the team, the eagle symbol. Oh, I'm sorry, the falcon. Next, Arizona Cardinals. The franchise began play in Chicago in 1898. Wow. Before moving to St. Louis in 1960 and Arizona in 1988. Team owner Chris O'Brien purchased used and faded maroon jerseys from the University of Chicago in 1901 and dubbed the colors of his squad's new outfit Cardinal Red. So now we know how they got the name Cardinal, from that color of those jerseys. A nickname was born. The team adopted the cardinal bird as part of its logo as early as 1947 and first featured a cardinal head on its helmet in 1960. See, these teams back in the early inception, they start things slowly. So I guess in the early age of the NFL, there was no mascot, no logo on the helmets. They probably just played with one solid color, white. Moving on. Baltimore Ravens. Of the more than 33,000 voters in the Sun's phone and poll. When let's talk about the Sun, since I live here in Baltimore, it's talking about the local newspaper, the Baltimore Sun. More than 21,000 picked Ravens. Yes, it'll let you know why. I know why they chose Ravens, but where it says we continue reading. It gives us a strong nickname that is not common to teams at any level. And it gives us one that means something historically to this community, as we see for the Baltimore area, said team owner Art Modell, who had attempted to buy the coach's nickname back from the franchise that left Baltimore for Indianapolis in 1984. Yes, Baltimore's original team was the Baltimore Colts. They moved to Indianapolis in 1984. Since I live in the Baltimore area, I know exactly how it happened. When they moved to Indianapolis, they snuck out the city in the wee hours of the morning, like 3 or 1 o'clock. That's when the team buses left Baltimore to head for Indianapolis. They didn't leave Baltimore in glory and victory. They left here like a little thief. They left here at 2 a.m. in the morning, sneaking out, taking everything to Indianapolis. All right. The Marauders nickname referenced a B-26 built during World War II by Glenn L. Martin Company, a predecessor to the Lockheed Martin that was based in Baltimore. Other names considered including the Railers, Bulldog, Mustangs, and Steamers. Okay, I'm going to tell you all why they chose the Ravens name. Because we have a legendary writer here named Edgar Allan Poe. In one of his poems, he referenced that raven. So the Ravens deals with one of Edgar Allan Poe's poems that's talking about that bird. So it has Ravens has a lot of meaning here in the Baltimore area. Here's the mascot. Next, Buffalo Bills. The Bills nickname was suggested as part of a fan contest in 1947 to rename Buffalo's All-American Football Conference team. There's another football league, which was originally known as the Bisons. The Bills' nickname reference frontiersman Buffalo Bill Cody and was selected over Bullets, Nickels, and Blue Devils. It helped that the team was owned by the president of Frontier Oil, James Burrell. Buffalo was without a team from 1950 to 1959 when owner Ralph Wilson acquired a franchise in the AFL, or American Football League. Wilson solicited potential nicknames from fans for his new franchise and ultimately chose Bills in homage to the city's defunct AAFC team. So their team so the Buffalo Bills name is paying homage to a team from the defunct football conference. Carolina Panthers. Panthers team president Mark Richardson, the son of team owner Jai Richardson, chose the Panthers nickname because, quote, it's a name of our family thought signifies what we thought a team should be. Powerful, sleek, and strong. Richardson also chose the 1995 expansion team's color scheme of black, blue, and silver, a choice that initially came under scrutiny from NFL proprieties representatives. According to one newspaper report, the concern was raised at the 1993 NFL meetings that a team nicknamed the Panthers that featured black in its color scheme would appeal to street gangs and reflect poorly on the league. Okay, most gangs wear black, I guess, but in this case, the owner didn't care about the fans. The owner chose the name. The owner chose the colors. He didn't care. He didn't say, I'm gonna deal with all that voting crap. I'm making it all up. I own it. I'm giving it what I want. Chicago Bears. In 1921, the Decatur Staleys, a charter member of the American Professional Football Association, moved to Chicago and kept their nickname, a nod to the team's sponsor, the Staley Starch Company. When star player George Halas purchased the team following year, he decided to change the nickname. Chicago played its home games at Wrigley Field, home of baseball clubs, and Halas opted to stick with the Eurasian theme. Chicago Bears. Cincinnati Bengals. Team owner, general manager, and head coach Paul Brown nicknamed Cincinnati's American Football League expansion franchise the Bengals in 1968 in honor of the football team nicknamed the Bengals that played in the city from 1937 to 1942. According to Brown, the nickname will provide a link with past professional football in Cincinnati. Brown chose Bengals over the fans' most popular suggestion, Buckeyes. So again, the owner chose the name. He didn't care what the fan was thinking. He owned it. I'm going to give him that name. And also, so far we see with many of these teams, the American Football League, the competing sports league, had a great history in the United States. Cleveland Browns. There is some debate about whether Cleveland's professional football franchise was nicknamed after its first coach and general manager, Paul Brown. Okay, maybe it's named after him. Or after boxer Joe Louis, who was nicknamed the Brown Bomber. I doubt that. I doubt it was named after Joe Louis for apparent reasons. I'm not going to tell you all why the reasons why I think. Team owner Mickey McBride conducted a fan contest in 1945, and the most popular submission was Browns. Okay, so the fans chose Browns. According to one version of the story, Paul Brown vetoed the nickname and chose Panthers instead. But a local businessman informed the team that he owned the rights to the name Cleveland Panthers. So it was another team named Panthers. Brown ultimately agreed, grudgingly, to use the name of his name, Browns, and stuck with it. Dallas Cowboys, America's so-called team. The Cowboys, who began play in the NFL in 1960, were originally going to be nicknamed the Steers. I see a lot of these teams, they had the S in their name. Or most of the names that they wanted to be had that S in it. Steers. The team general manager, Texas East Grum, decided that having a castrated bovine as a mascot might subject the team to ridicule. So he decided to go with the Rangers instead. But fearing that the people would confuse the football team with the local minor league baseball team, nicknamed the Rangers, Scrum finally changed the nickname to the Cowboys shortly before the season began. So once again, no fan involvement. The owner sat down and said, I own a team. I'm going to name the team whatever I want to name them. That is what will stick. Denver Broncos. Denver was a charter member of the American Football League in 1960, and Broncos, which was submitted along with a 25-word essay by Ward M. Vining, was the winning entry among 162 fans who responded, and they named the team contest. Wow, a paltry 162 fans. I guess he didn't have no radio or a lot of TV commercials back then. A Denver team by the same name played in the Midwest Baseball League in 1921. Detroit Lions. Radio executive George A. Richardson purchased and moved the Portsmouth Spartans to Detroit in 1934, the original name, Spartans, and renamed the team the Lions. The nickname was likely derived from Detroit's established baseball team, the Tigers, who won 101 games in the AL pennant that year. As the team explained it, the lion is the monarch of the jungle, and we hope to be the monarch of the fledgling football league. Green Bay Packers. Team founder Earl Curley Lombre's employer, the Indiana Packing Company, sponsored Green Bay's football team and provided equipment and access to the field. The Indian Packing Company became the Acme Packing Company and later folded, but the nickname stuck. So the Packers are named after a packing company. Never knew that. That's new to me. Houston Texans. Houston's 2002 expansion franchise became the sixth professional football team nicknamed the Texans. The Dallas Texans were an Arena Football League team from 1990 to 1993. And Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones revived the team in 2000. He was planning to keep the old nickname, but ordered to rename the team the Desperados. Okay, that's a pathetic name. It don't stick. It don't roll off your tongue. Houston owner Bob McNair chose Texans over Apollos, which is weak, and Stallions, another S team. So, Texans, it sounds catchy. It's short, less than 10 letters. It's a catchy name. Indianapolis Colts. Originally began in Baltimore, but as I told you all in the beginning, They snuck out of town on a snowy day, 3 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning. They disappeared. They took everything, left everything empty. Everything was empty. They was gone. The Baltimore Colts, a member of the All-American Football Conference from 1947 to 1950, were named in honor of the region's history of horse breeding. Yes, Baltimore, we have the Pimlico racetrack here. If you don't know about that, the Pimlico. And I know it's 3 major horse events each year in America. I know them, but I can't say them off my tongue. I know one is here in Baltimore, and one is in New York. I forgot where the first one at. I think is it the Kentucky Derby? Kentucky Derby, the Pimlico, and I forgot the name in New York. Well, anyway, we're named in honor of the region's history of horse breeding. The name remained when a new franchise began play in 1953, and after the team relocated to Indianapolis in 1984. And it seemed like Baltimore, we got the better deal. So far, the Baltimore Ravens have won 2 Super Bowls before the Indianapolis even won one. Indianapolis of Peyton Manning, they got 1 Super Bowl, but that was definitely after the Baltimore Ravens won their first. Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars nickname was selected through a fan contest in 1991, 2 years before the city was officially awarded an expansion team and 4 years before the team would begin play. Wow, it took them a while to get that team. Other names considered include, here we go, S, Sharks and Stingrays. While Jaguars aren't native to Jacksonville, the oldest living jaguar in North America was housed in a Jacksonville zoo. Wow. Well, that sounds pathetic. It was named after an animal cage in the zoo. They say house. It meant cage. Kansas City Chiefs. If you look at the Chiefs began play in the AFL, American Football League, in 1960 as the Dallas Texans. When the team moved to Kansas City in 1963, owner Lamar Hunt changed the team's name to the Chiefs, after also considering Wolves, weak, Royals, a baseball team, and Stars. That sounds weak. Hunt said the name was locally important because Native Americans had once lived in the area. Hunt may have also been swayed by Kansas City Mayor H. Roe Bartel, whose nickname was the Chief. Bartel helped lure the team to Kansas City by promising Hunt that the city would meet certain attendance thresholds. So he was promising what, 40,000, 50,000 fans for every game? Los Angeles Chargers. Team owner Baron Hilton sponsored a name the team contest and promised a trip to Mexico. Okay, so this owner's not cheap. Most of the team did is give a person a couple season tickets. He said, I'm going to give you a trip to Mexico City. To the winner in 1960. Gerald Courtney submitted Chargers, and Hilton reportedly liked the name so much that he didn't open another letter. Wow. I don't know what letter he opened. 50, 60, 70, 80. He said, I like the name Chargers. Stick with it. It's a good name because it's built up, as you see, the lightning bolt. As we see right here. A lightning bolt. We all love lightning. It gives off light, but it's deadly and dangerous. Los Angeles Rams. The Rams, who originated in Cleveland in 1936 and spent 1946 through 1994 in the Los Angeles era before moving to St. Louis, came back to LA last season. So they left, then they returned back home. The team traces that nickname to the college ranks, so to college teams. Principal owner Homer Marshman and general manager Damon Buzz Witzel chose the nickname because Whistle's favorite football team had always been the Fordham Rams. Fordham, Vince Lombardi's alma mater, was a powerhouse at the time. Miami Dolphins. A name the team contest drew nearly 20,000 entries and resulted in the nickname for the Miami franchise. They entered the AFL as an expansion team in 1966. More than 600 fans suggested Dolphins. Yes, because that's the Miami area. I'm sure dolphins can be seen near the beaches there from time to time. But Mario Swanson was declared the winner after correctly predicting a tie in 1965 college football game between Miami and Notre Dame as part of a follow-up contest. Swanson, who won a lifetime season pass to Dolphin games. Wow! Lifetime. That's important. Told reporters she consulted a magic 8-ball before predicting the score of the game. Miami owner Joe Robbie was fond of the winning nickname because, quote, as he put it, the dolphin is one of the fastest and smartest creatures in the sea. And plus, it's an animal that's loved by human beings. We love dolphins. I guess we love them because it seems like they have a smile on their face. But you know, a dolphin can be deadly. They look like they're smiling, but they're not always smiling and grinning. They can be just as deadly as a shark because they're heavy and big. They are not little creatures. They're just as powerful. Minnesota Vikings. According to the Vikings website, Bert Rose, Minnesota's general manager, when it joined the NFL in 1961, recommended the nickname to the team's board of directors because, quote, it represented both an aggressive person with will to win and the Nordic tradition in the northern Midwest. The expansion franchise also became the first pro sports team to feature its home estate rather than a city in the team's name. What do you mean by that? It means Minnesota, the city. Most teams are named after the state. Most of them. Like Texas, Miami, etc., etc. Miami named after Florida. But Minnesota Vikings. Yes, but this is named after the state. Dallas named after a state. Minnesota named after a state. After a state. And I'm sure you can think of some others. New England Patriots. 74 fans suggested Patriots in the name the team contest that was conducted by the management group of Boston's original NFL franchise in 1960. So 74 fans. So how many letters did you all get? 100? Pat Patriot, the cartoon of a Minuteman preparing to snap at football drawn by the Boston Globe's Phil Basile, was chosen as the team's logo soon after. While the first part of the team's name changed from Boston to New England after the state in 1971, Patriots remained. So this team is named after a state. New Orleans Saints. New Orleans was awarded an official NFL franchise on All Saints Day, November the 1st, 1966. The nickname was a popular choice in a name the team contest sponsored by the New Orleans States Item. What is that? A car insurance company? Which announced the news of the new franchise with the headline, NO Goes Pro. The nickname chosen by team owner, like so many cases, the team owner choose a name, John Mecum, was a nod to the city's jazz heritage and taken from the popular song When the Saints Go Marching In. See, that's original. So New Orleans got their name from that song when the Saints go marching in. I never knew that. So I'm learning just as much as you are, dear people. New York Giants. New York owner Tim McGraw borrowed the Giants nickname from John McGraw's National League baseball team, a common practice by football teams during an era when baseball was the nation's preeminent team. Yes, team sport. When I was growing up as a child, baseball was America's number one sport. Now, I guess it's number three. I think football, basketball, baseball, hockey. Those are America's big four sports. There are other minor sports, such as tennis, golf, volleyball, soccer, or quote, football. But the big three, the big four, football, basketball, baseball, hockey. America for the longest time was baseball for the longest time was America's number one sport, which we all played as children. We played football too, but during my era, when I was growing up, baseball was huge. New York Jets, Bills. That might be a little typo, so just call it New York Jets. New York Jets. Originally nicknamed the Titans, the team was renamed the Jets in 1963 after Sonny Werblin led an investment group that purchased a bankrupt franchise for $1 million. 1963, $1 million is the equivalent of what? $10 million in today's money. According to a contemporary New York Times story, the franchise considered calling itself the Dodgers, but nixed the idea after Major League Baseball didn't like it. I know, because it was the baseball team named the Dodgers. Gotham also got some consideration, but the team didn't like the idea of having it shortened to the Goths. That sounds nice, though, the Goths, because you know they weren't such nice people. The last finalist to fall was the New York Boroughs. That sounds ugly. A pun on the city's boroughs. The team worried about opposing fans would make the Boroughs connection and derisively called the squad the Jackasses. That's funny. Alright, Oakland Raiders. Chet Soda, Oakland's first general manager, sponsored a Name the Team contest in 1960. Yeah, during 1960, I guess Name the Team was a popular thing. Helen A. Davis, an Oakland policewoman, submitted the winning entry, Senoras, and was rewarded with a trip to the Bahamas. Oh, another one. So one team owner gave a person a trip to Mexico, and another gave the winner a trip to the Bahamas. The nickname, an allusion to the old Spanish settlers of Northern California, was ridiculed in the weeks that followed, and fans also claimed that the contest was fixed. Scotty started as sports writer for the Oakland Tribune, who would later become the team's general manager, provided another reason to abandon the nickname. That's no good, Sturden said. We don't have the accent mark for the N in our headline type, responding to the backlash. Soda and the team's other investors decided to change their nickname to the Raiders, which was a finalist in the contest along with the Lakers, which is an NBA team. But since football has a longer history, I guess the NBA Lakers did not exist at that time. But who knows? Philadelphia Eagles. In 1933, Bert Bell and Lloyd Rye purchased the bankrupt Frankfurt Yellow Jackets. The new owner renamed the team the Eagles in honor of the symbol of the National Recovery Act, which is part of President Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal. So, it's based on historical information or historical American information. Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh's football team shared the nickname as the city's baseball team. Okay, so both were called Steelers. The Pirates from 1933 to 1940. Before the 1940 season, owner Art Rooney held a rename the team contest. A change couldn't hurt, as Pittsburgh had failed to post a winning season in its first 7 years. I know. So said, get the fans involved. Give them a little happiness. Let's just change the name to make them get excited. Joe Santino, who worked in a mill for Pittsburgh Steel, was one of the several fans who suggested Steelers. Santino received a pair of season tickets, which he would renew every year until his death in 2003. Oh, he had to renew. He should have been given season tickets forever, especially when the league started making a profit. I know in the beginning, most teams didn't make a profit, but when they start making a profit, they can say, thank you for giving the team his name. We're going to give you season tickets from now on. But that's how cheap, my good people, sport teams are. They want to make you think that you're your friend, but they're just as cheap as any old miser. Most of them are. San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers, who began play in the All-American Football Conference in 1946, were named after the settlers who ventured to the San Francisco area during the gold rush of 1849. Yes, it's named after people who was greedy to grab some gold and, quote, get rich. Get the gold. Let's see if we can make some money off of this. Let's see if we can get rich. Seattle Seahawks. There were 1,700 unique names among the more than 20,000 submitted in a Name the Team contest in 1975, including skippers, which is weak, pioneers, weak, lumberjacks, long and weak, and seagulls. That sounds okay. About 150 people suggested Seahawks. Okay. So I guess they did a statistical analysis of the people naming a team. A Seattle minor league hockey team and Miami's franchise in the All-American Football Conference both used the name in 1950, so it's not a unique name, huh? Our new name suggested aggressive, reflects our soaring Northwest heritage, and belongs to no other major league team. Seattle general at that time, because all of them were defunct by then. Seattle general manager John Thompson said, the Seahawks helmet design is a stylized head of an osprey, a fish-eating hawk of the Northwest. And there it is. It does look mean and nasty looking, don't it? It's like it would kill you in a heartbeat if it had the chance. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A panel of local sports writers and representatives from the NFL expansion team, including the owner Hugh F. Culverhouse, chose Buccaneers. That's a nice name. From an original list of more than 400 names in 1975. The nickname, which was a popular choice among fans in a Name the Team contest, was a nod to the pirates who raided Florida's coast during the 17th century. Again, a historical name that they chose. So it's good to see that the fans, they do have a little bit of historical knowledge in them. Tennessee Titans. After relocating from Houston to Tennessee in 1995, the team played 2 seasons as the Oilers. I remember that. Before owner Bud Adams held a statewide contest to rename the team. So this time it was statewide, not local. I think most of the other teams, they did local votes. Titans was chosen over nicknames such as Tornadoes, Long and Weak, Copperheads, Long but not so weak, South Stars. They got those 2 names in it, so that's a turn off. And Wranglers. We wanted a new nickname to reflect strength, like most teams say. We do want strength, power, honor, and glory, blah, 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 blah. We wanted a new nickname to reflect strength, leadership, and other heroic qualities, Adams told reporters. So Titans. I guess it's down to the is it the ancient Greeks? So you know the movie Remember the Titans? See, I think it goes all the way back a couple thousand years ago. The name Titans. Washington Redskins. Last but not least, 1 year after he acquired an NFL franchise in Boston, George Preston Marshall changed the team's nickname from Braves to Redskins. According to most accounts, the nickname was meant to honor, head coach and Native American William Henry, Lone Star Ditz. Though some question whether Ditz was a Native American, the Redskins kept their controversial name when they relocated to Washington, D.C. in 1937. Yes, I think it was in the late 90s or early 2000s. There was a lot of controversy over the nickname Redskins. Many people thought they was antagonizing, making fun of Native Americans who was brown skins. Antagonizing them, calling them Redskins, making them seem like they was brutal savages. So thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane about the NFL teams. If you like my content, give me a like. If you would like to subscribe for future content, learning about whatever I find interesting, sports, or in daily life, please subscribe. If you're already a subscriber and you would like immediate feedback or immediate notification when I add new content, please click that YouTube alert bell. You all, thank you for stopping by. Have a wonderful day.